Do y'all have adult children? How's your relationship? Is it good? I hope it's good. I have a daughter that is 23 and she dropped a bomb on me yesterday, and it took a whole it took me a while to calm down, and I'm still processing it. So I want to talk about it here with you today, because I know I'm not the only one in this situation, because I did the exact same thing she's doing and put my parents through this. I share my experiences with you if you share your time with me.
About it. I'm 46 years old and living my best life, and it did not come easy. It didn't just happen. I'm here to share my experiences with you so you can live your best life too.
A little backup. My daughter lives 5 hours away on the other side of the state, and she works in the hospitality industry. She's a manager of a restaurant inside of a hotel, a major chain hotel. And she's been very unhappy since she got that job, but she's been working towards another job that's a whole lot better. It falls in the category of her dream job. And she calls me yesterday and she tells me she got the offer. I was so excited. And then the next part came that hit me like a ton of bricks. She has to move to Connecticut. That's so far, far away from Tennessee. And it felt like my whole world fell on my head. My daughter and I had a very complicated relationship when she was growing up due to my actions. And now that she's grown and things have changed and I have changed, we are so good now. Our relationship is so strong. And I guard it and I protect it to make sure it stays strong and healthy. And when she told me she was considering moving to Connecticut, and she's probably going to do it. She's very headstrong, but she lands on her feet, you know. I cried for an hour, and then I cried a little more later on when I thought about it again. And today I feel better. And it finally came to me that I've done the exact same thing to my parents. Later in life, I was in my middle 30s or my late 30s, and I packed everything up and I moved 500 miles away to the Gulf Coast. And I stayed down there for about 2.5 years. And I think this is how my parents felt when I left. This is like that parenting karma. You know, when your kids are born and your parents pat you on the shoulder and they say something to the effect of, I hope they are as much fun as you were. It's that curse. Because I did the same thing. I hit a point here in my life where I didn't think I was going to get any further in life than I had already. And I had not gotten very far. It was a sad, desperate time in my life when I packed it all up and moved to Alabama. And now my daughter's trying to do the same thing, but going to Connecticut. And I struggled with that all day yesterday. And I finally come to a place of peace with it. You know, this is her chance. Her opportunity to live her best life. And I cannot stand in the way of that, no matter my feelings. No matter what anybody else feels. She needs that opportunity. She needs this adventure. She needs the experiences that will come with it. And I learned something about parenting, the parenting of adult children, because we still do it even when they're grown. They still come to us. I still talk to my dad almost every day. We cannot live their lives for them. They cannot live their lives for us. It's not up to us to tell them what to do anymore. It's not my place to tell my daughter she can't go. It's not my place to tell her she cannot take this amazing opportunity and throw it away because I don't want her to go. That would be so selfish of me. My parents didn't stop me when I left. They weren't thrilled, but they supported me. And they understood why I needed to do that. And I understand why she needs to go wherever the wind takes her, really, because it's a travel job. It just starts in Connecticut. She's going to get the opportunity to travel the world and work and make money and build her own life. It's not that she has a terrible life now, but she's not as happy as she could be. Her partner and her, they get to do this together. And when I was able to step out of myself and look at the big picture, it's a beautiful picture that I cannot, in good conscience, bring myself to paint over it. When our kids are grown, we don't have to feel like we have to fix all their food for them, change their diapers anymore. We don't have to wash their clothes, pack their lunches. But we do guide them to the best that we can. We can offer suggestions, advice, whatever you'd like to call that. And my only real advice to her was assess the situation before you make a decision. Go up there, see what it's all about, and see if it's for you before you commit to this big new thing. And that's just my experience telling me that. If I had have assessed the situation in Alabama, I would have still gone. Because it was great for a while. But when it was time to go, it was time to go. And I have to have faith that when my daughter hits that point, hopefully she won't, but she might, when the new job is not what she wants it to be anymore and it doesn't make her happy anymore, I hope she will see it and take another opportunity. When we have adult kids, some people think that parenting stops, but it doesn't. This isn't the first time she's come to me and I don't think she really cares what I think about it because I know my daughter. But I think she does want to keep me informed. I mean, that would be a big deal if she moved to Connecticut and didn't tell me. I'd have to hop on a plane. But when our kids come to us, we got to really listen. She's not happy where she is now. Since she started working at this job, I have seen her change in so many ways, and it's not a good change either. That hurts when you see your kids struggling and you can't make it better. That's what we always want to do. We want to make it better. But we can't always do that. And that is the hardest part of parenting, is knowing that we can't always step in for them anymore. When my son was little, there was a basketball game and his coach was just being horrible and hateful and yelling at the kids. And we're talking 6 and 7-year-olds, right? And I had to be held down because I was about to go across the court at him. I can't do that stuff anymore. When my son was still with us, he had his own struggles with drugs and himself, his own darkness. And we all did everything we could. I got him into a treatment program. I supported him when he got out. And then he went right back into it because he couldn't face his own darkness. And I couldn't help him. As much as I tried, as much as I wanted to, I could not help him. And eventually, it just got worse and worse, and he took his own life. I live each day now knowing he's at peace. And he doesn't have to fight with that darkness inside him anymore. And I don't want my daughter to face that sort of darkness. And that's where she was headed recently, with this job that she's got that she hates. All I can do is support her, encourage her to do her best and make good choices and to have all the facts before the decision is made. But this really is the hardest part of parenting adult children. Stepping back, even when you know it's fucked up and they're probably going to fall flat on their faces, which I don't think she will. But sometimes you see your kids make those kinds of choices. We all know what we're talking about. My parents tried and tried and tried to stop me from doing stupid shit so many times, and I wouldn't listen. So I have taken a different, I'm not trying to stop her from doing anything. I will support her decision if she decides to stay or if she decides to go, because that's what we have to do as parents of adult children. We still need to be there for them when they fall. We don't use the words, I told you this would happen. We don't use those words. We encourage them to get up again. We encourage them to chase their dreams while they are young and they still have them. We encourage them to seek out new experiences and enjoy life. This is all we can do. Even though your kids might be far away, they're still yours. They're still your babies. I told my daughter 2 weeks ago, you will always be my baby. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how grown you think you are. You are my baby. And I will love you and support you. And that is what I'm going to do now with her decision to strike out on this huge adventure so far away in the middle of winter of all times of year. And I like to travel. Maybe I'll travel to visit. I just wanted to talk about that today because so many of us are looking at our grown-up kids and going, what are you doing? You just have to support them and let them do it. They will resent us if we don't. If we try to stop them, they're going to go that much harder. Unless they're going to physically hurt themselves or someone else, we just have to support them. And we have to know when we have to step back and let them handle their own business. That was the hardest part. I lost my son. I couldn't fix him. Nobody could. He had to fix himself. But he couldn't. And now he is at peace. And I live every day knowing that. I live every day knowing that he is at peace and he is no longer tortured by his own stuff. And I don't want that for my daughter. So I support her decision. If she wants to go, she has my blessing. Do you have adult kids? I'd love to hear about them. Do they still come to you? Let me know. Leave me a comment.